Charania, don't be too curious, because mostly my titles are the best on my presentation. They're always long and a lot of words. Now, AEM more or less is about content management. So years ago, it was like everything is content. Then there came the buzzword, content is king. No, for all us here, knowledge is king. Because without knowledge, we're super lost. And this is a bit like the story I had a few weeks ago, guiding myself through the jungle of AEM documentations. This talk is especially important for like all the ones who are new to AEM, and not like the OGs, the dinosaurs. All of you can lay back, have a short 9-minute nap, enjoy a bit. But for people who are new to the topic and not like the big pros, maybe you can get some hints or some insights. First of all, AEM is a complex product. Honestly, if it would be easy, we all would not be here. So we have other CMS. You have like this easy templating framework, and you put some color in it, add content, bam, that's it. AEM is different. AEM, in my opinion, is not just one product. It's for sure 3 products. We have AEM on-prem. We have LTS, also not really the same than 6.5. We have AEM as a cloud service. And now we have edge delivery services on top. So 3 products. Then we have the related open source stack below it. Also like each of like this open source product is like super mighty, and you have like so many angles and stuff you can connect. It's crazy. And then we have the funny thing about UIs. It all started with good old classic UI, my personal favorite. Then the touch UI came. We have the page editor. Universal editor was launched. And now there's like this other UI, which is like hiding in the dark alley. It's not getting easier. And to be honest, AEM is just one part of the whole AEM as a experience cloud. So there we have analytics and so on and so on. Whoa. So complex. How, as architect consultants, can we navigate through it? Because we can't know everything, or I can't know everything. Back in the days, life was so easy, I tell you. It was even before Bertrand's story, where I had like Giancarlo Berner was his name. He gave me an AEM, Day Communicate 3.5 training. And he brought the documentation. It was printed in the Basel office, and I think the printer had an issue because it was not really very nice printed, and it was like 2 notebooks he had. One notebook, number 1, was how to develop components with ECMAScript. Number 2, that was the new shit. Well, it was too sophisticated for me because I was on the ECMAScript, was how to do it in JSPs. That was all the documentation there was. I had like these 2 notebooks. They were on my desk. And when I had questions, mostly the answer was, don't mind, everything is content. So that was like back in the days. Today, it's different. A while ago, I had to jump in for a customer presentation. It was about moving from on-prem into the cloud, maybe edge delivery services. So a lot of new stuff. And I'm not always like really up to date. So I said, okay, let's see, prepare some links, get ready for this workshop, so that when I have to search something, I have like my bookmarks and figure out quite fast to fetch some information. That was like my plan, and I went through my already bookmarks I had, I went through Google and so on. That was the result. 30 sources of knowledge. And these are just the stuff Adobe provides. And I'm pretty sure it's not complete. There's like a lot of additional stuff. And also, be honest, like all the agencies out there that have like their own Confluence spaces where we find additional information, customers as well. So I was like, wow, wouldn't it be just easy if Adobe provides like one link documentation, there's everything. No, 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 it's like everywhere. So, what they're gonna do now? I felt a bit like the guy here, like lost in the jungle and how to navigate now to where to find the best and, for me, most relevant information. And I think especially people new to AEM or new to Adobe products, yeah, feel probably a bit the same. And I'm sure, because I had like several discussions during lunchtime yesterday evening, highlighting one or another user group or so on, and they were like, wow, I didn't know that exists. So then I had the idea, okay, now let's solve this. Let's figure out what's all there, check the sources, and I want to know what's best. So what you're doing, you take ChatGPT, big AI, put everything in it, and do me some pros and cons and what's best for me and so on. And yeah, it was all rubbish. So didn't really help me. I also wanted to figure out what's better for beginner, what's for expert. Yeah, now if the presentation would not be just 10 minutes, it's the part where I would dig into the results. We skipped that all because at the end I just jumped to the conclusion I've made. Information are distributed, yeah, we see, and that's also redundant stuff. You also figure out a lot of different authors and sources and channels. There's also quite some difference because for which seniority level it actually is. And not every source I found works probably for every person and for every case. So I'm sorry, but everybody has to find his own way through the jungle. There's no standardized way, or I didn't figure out through my research that there's something, because everybody is a bit different, everybody has different knowledge, is on a different level, so he has to find his way, what works for him. But I'm not going to stop here. At least I give like my top 3 that work best for me. That was a rhyme. Good old Experience League. Now people will laugh here because this is like the most common documentation, but for me it still works out. What I like most about Experience League is it's not just AEM, so we also have like some generic information what's around it, especially when you have to connect the dots and want to figure out, for example, how do I push some data to Salesforce or whatsoever. You always find some good hints, good idea, good how-tos in Experience League. And I think it's quite beginner-friendly. So the beginners, if you tried out Experience League on the first tryout, you were not so happy, give it like another chance. And it's mainstream information. You will find any edge cases or so on. It really is like the get started handbook. I'm not so the guy who likes to read a lot. I prefer to ask people, to talk to them and so on. And there I would like to highlight 2 collaboration platforms. I'm sure 90% of you here know them, but probably 10% not, and that's for them quite nice. First, the AEM Discord group. For all the new shit, edge delivery service related, for me, absolutely go-to place. It's community approach in Discord. You have FAQs. You have like the chats. If you ask a question, you get like super fast response. And then you have like the Thursday frequencies, which happen, I think, twice a month, more or less, which is like presentation format, remote, where some topics are being picked by the community and being presented. Also for me, they're very cool about to just get some insights, some new idea, figure out what kind of features, for example, will be released in the future. So AEM Discord group, if you're not on Discord by now, that's, my opinion, pretty good place. Something similar, a bit different, especially more when it's about classic AEM and so on, are the AEM user groups. They're still kind of building up, but especially in the US region and so on, they're stronger than in Europe. But now, for example, the DACH market also has like his own user group. They also did like the first session. I haven't participated, but there's stuff like, for example, the Champions Office Hour, which is also, especially also like in India, very, very good, where it's like really like an office hour, like you go to the doctor and ask your questions and your symptoms, and they give you advice and so on. And we also want to push that quite a bit now, like in the EMEA region, so having like this kind of office hours for just coming in and collaborate. Yeah, and now all the OGs and dinosaurs have to wake up, because the next talk for sure will be technical. And yeah, thanks for listening.